نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمد عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. إخوة الإيمان السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has given us opportunity to gather here again today, being another Yawmul Jumu'ah, for another Salatul Jumu'ah today. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has brought us here with His mercy, will give us the opportunity to observe the Salat and accept it as an act of ibadah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to shower His mercy upon the noble soul of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, his companions, and we that were on his path. May Allah continue to guide us on the day of reckoning. In continuation with our discussion, we've been discussing for the past several weeks concerning Palestine and the Banu Israel. Today, bi Qudratullahi Ta'ala, we continue on who are the Banu Israel. Man whom? Banu Israel. Who are the Israelis? And bi Qudratullahi Ta'ala, we are going to discuss about them from the point of view of Nabiyuna Daud A.S. and Jalut, the Goliath. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Holy Quran, Quran chapter 2, verse 246 to verse 252. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم ترى إلى الملأ من بني إسرائيل من بعد موسى إذ قالوا لنبي لهم ابعث لنا ملكا نقاتل في سبيل الله قال ألا عسيتم إن كتب عليكم القتال ألا تقاتلوا قالوا وما لنا ألا نقاتل في سبيل الله وقد أخرجنا من ديارنا وأبنائنا فلما كتب عليهم القتال تولوا إلا قليلا منهم والله عليم بالظالمين. وقال لهم نبيهم إن الله قد بعث لكم طالوت ملكا قالوا أنى يكون له الملك علينا ونحن أحق بالملك منه ولم يؤت سعة من المال قال إن الله اصطفاه عليكم وزاده بسطة في العلم والجسم والله يؤتي ملكه من يشاء والله واسع عليم. وقال لهم نبيهم إن آية ملكه أن يأتيكم التابوت فيه سكينة من ربكم وباقية مما ترك آل موسى وآل هارون تحمله الملائكة إن في ذلك لآية لكم إن كنتم مؤمنين. فلما فصل طالوت بالجنود قال إن الله مبتليكم بنهر فمن شرب منه فليس مني ومن لم يطعمه فإنه مني إلا من اقترف غرفة بيده فشربوا منه إلا قليلا منه فلما جاوزه هو والذين آمنوا معه قالوا لا طاقة لنا اليوم بجالوت وجنوده قال الذين يظنون أنهم ملاقو الله كم من فئة قليلة غلبت فئة كثيرة بإذن الله والله مع الصابرين. ولما برزوا لجالوت وجنوده قالوا ربنا أفرج علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين فهزموهم بإذن الله وقتل داود جالوت وآتاه الله الملك والحكمة وعلمه ممن يشاء ولولا دفع الله الناس بعضهم ببعض لفسدت الأرض ولكن الله ذو فضل على العالمين تلك آيات الله نتلوها عليك بالحق وإنك لمن المرسلين. صدق الله العظيم. بعد الله إن الله يأمركم بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for revealing unto Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam the noble book among all the books, among all the scriptures he has revealed unto the people of the past. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us concerning the Banu Israel, their relationship with Nabiyuna Musa alayhi salamullah and Nabiyuna Daud alayhi salamullah. We've talked extensively concerning how they related with Nabiyuna Musa alayhi salamullah. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Alam tara ila al-malai min bani Israila min ba'di Musa. Don't you see concerning group of people among the Israelis, particular set of people among the Israelis, not all of them, Mala'im min bani Israel, a group, a particular set of people from the Israelis, after the departure of Nabiyuna Musa alayhi salamullah, isqalu li nabiyyin lahum, when they told or when they mentioned to their prophet. And who was the prophet that they communicated with? In a narration, it was mentioned that it was Yusha ibn Nun. But Yusha ibn Nun, as it was revealed, had already existed before Nabiyuna Musa alayhi salamullah. So indicating that this narration that the Nabi that they were referring to in this particular context is not Yusha ibn Nun. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had already said, Min ba'di Musa, the incident happened after Nabiyuna Musa alayhi salamullah. Another narration said that this particular Bani Israel, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed unto them the Torah. That was the scripture that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to Nabiyuna Musa alayhi salamullah. So they were using this Torah for their creed. Even after the demise of Nabiyuna Musa alayhi salamullah, or after the transition of Nabiyuna Musa alayhi salamullah, some of them still believe in it. There is no how you want to do. Everybody will not face the same direction at the same time. So it wasn't all the people that were existing then that were still addicted or stick to the doctrines of At-Torah. So those that were then existing and they were following the dictate of the scripture of Torah, it came to a time that a particular king now invaded their community because they used to be very steadfast. So this king now invaded their community, he now fought a war against them. And majority of them, they were gone with the war. They became victims of the war. Now left with only one woman. The woman, before the demise of her husband, the woman was pregnant. Unfortunately for her, the Torah that was in existence then, she was able to hold on to it, indicating that the Torah was not totally wiped out from the what? From the community. So this woman now kept the Torah with her, that scripture. She kept it with her every day. Used to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah, the pregnancy in me, the embryo in my pregnancy, Allah, I'm asking you to let it be a male child, al-gulam, so that I can strive on your cause, so that I can become a great man that will be propagating your deen. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants it, when this woman now gave birth, she delivered a baby boy, and the boy was named Shamuel, meaning that Sama Allahu du'a'i'a, or Sama Allahu nida'i'a, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listened and he had a word, a call. So this Shamuel, he now grew up as a righteous person in sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that same community of the Banu Israel that were existing then. So, he was the one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now chose for them as Nabi. So the Banu Israel, they were now asking their Nabiyullah that was with them then, whom was who? Shamuel, that Ibwaslana Malikan, we want you to choose a king for us. Amongst us, we want a king. Already they've gotten what? They've gotten a prophet. Now they want a king that will be directing their affairs. And the king will be doing what? Nuqatil fi sabilillah. He'll be asking us to go on the right path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to go and fight for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Indicating that it's not all the Banu Israel, all the Banu Israel that are not on the right course of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because here they are saying, Ibwas lana malikan nuqatil fi sabilillah. Oh, you Shamuel, the prophet that you are among us now, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us what? To give us a what? A king. A king that will direct our affairs to strive in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Shamuel now answered them. Qala al ashaytum in kutiba alaykumul qitalu alla tuqatilu. Now you are asking for this. Peradventure, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now declare that you should go and fight on his cause, will you go? Will you not do like the Banu Israel that followed Musa alayhi salamullah, that told him that Izab anta wa rabbuk faqatila inna hauna qa'idun. You are your Lord, go, continue on your journey and go and fight. We are here, we are sitting there, we are waiting for you. Whenever you become victorious, you should come back and meet us. We are going to celebrate with you. I hope you people now that you are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to provide to you a king that will lead you on the cause of what? On the cause of fighting, on the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I hope when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives that decree, I hope you are not going to turn back against it. They now said, Qalu, wama lana alla nuqatila fi sabilillah. Why are we not going to fight in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Wa qad ukhrijna min diyarina wa abnaina. Already, we have deserted our homes and our families, our children. We have left them behind. We have followed you. Why are we now going to turn back? We are not at home again. Our wives are there. Our children are there. All our properties, we've left them behind. We are following you. We are not going to turn back. What they did to Nabi Musa alayhi salamullah, we are not going to do it to you. You know, they are making a pledge. And the pledge they are making is not just to their prophet alone. They are making it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the prophet did not send himself. They said all this. Falama kutiba alayhimul qitalu. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now declare that, okay, Shamuel, lead your people and go and fight on my cause. Tawallaw illa qalilan minhum. They turn against the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, except an insignificant, an infinite quantity or a minute quantity among them were the ones that followed Shamuel. Wallahu alimun bizalimin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I know, I have the knowledge of those of you that you are wrongdoers. Before you declare or before you display this act, before you display this character, I already know. The way majority of us, if they ask us to come and go for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is when you know that you just got married. I've not enjoyed my wife. Please, I'm just a new couple. Another set of people will say, my wife is just pregnant. Another set of people will say, my wife just put to bed, my children are young. Another set of people will say, I've labored so hard on my children. Don't you want me to reap the fruit of my labor? We'll be giving flimsy excuses when it comes to the time of coming to the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, come and strive on the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see what the Banu Israel did to Nabiyuna Shamwil. Their prophet Shamwil now told them, after majority of them have turned against him, it was reported that they were 80,000. Samanuna alafin. They were 80,000. And among these 80,000, 76,000 turned back. Remaining how many? 4,000. Arba'atu alaf. Those were the ones that followed Nabiyuna Shamwil out of 80,000. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not after figure. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not after figure. It's not after quantity. It's after quality. Their prophet now told them, Inna Allah qad ba'atha lakum Talut malikan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen Talut amongst you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen Talut for you. To become what? To become your king. When their prophet declared this to them, what did they say? Qalu. They now said, Anna yakunu lahul mulku alayna. How can Talut become a king amongst us? Wa nahnu aqibul mulki minhu. And we are more entitled to become king over him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had already decreed. They now want to change the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They were the one that asked for a king. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose a king for them through their womb, through their prophet Shamwil. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose Talut for them. Now, they are contesting what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chose for them. By what? وَلَمْ يُؤْتَ سَاعَةً مِنَ الْمَالِ. After saying that we are more legitimate, we are more eligible to be the king than Talut, because Talut is not a wealthy person, is not an influential person. وَلَمْ يُؤْتَ سَاعَةً مِنَ الْمَالِ. Talut doesn't have money. He's not influential. He's not at the high level class. Nabiyuna Talut Shamwil now told them, Qala inna Allah astafa alaykum. Shamwil now said, it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that has chosen him for you. You can't choose anybody by yourself. وَرَبُّكَ يَحْلُكُ مَا يَشَاءُ وَيَخْتَارُ مَا كَانَ لَهُمُ الْخِيَرَةُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he used to choose whoever he wishes to choose. Nobody can choose for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one that will choose whoever he wishes. As I keep telling us often, whomever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen and he has entrusted with authority, we should support the person. We should forget about the age. Allah doesn't choose age. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will choose age, he won't consider Nabiyuna Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and tell him, I'm said that huwa khatimul anbiya'i wa imamul mursalin. That is going to be the seal of all the prophets. And is going to be the leaders of all of them on the day of Qiyamah. If not that, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was going for an Isra wal Mi'raj, the ascension to the heaven, why was it that all the other prophets that existed before him, they came to give him a reception at Baitul Maqdis, and he led all of them in Salat? Nabiyuna Adam was there, Nabiyuna Nuh was there, Nabiyuna Ibrahim was there, Suleiman was there, Musa was there, all of them, they were there, and they lined up behind him and he led them in prayer, and he was the last prophet. So whomever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chose, we should support him or her. We should forget about status, we should forget about class, we should forget about sex. They are not saying that Talut that you have chosen for us, he doesn't have money. He's He's not an influential person. And Nabi Shamuel, he now said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen him for you. وَزَادَهُ بَسْطَةً فِي الْعِلْمِ وَالْجِسْمِ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed him with knowledge. وَالْجِسْمِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him a heavy body. He makes him to be an hefty person. Even if it is short. If he has a medium height, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has widened his chest. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed on him knowledge. So whoever you want to choose to be your leader, let the person be a knowledgeable person. In choosing leaders, don't just consider the physique of the person. The person must be knowledgeable. Majority of our leaders today, what knowledge do they have? What can we learn from them? What value can they add to our life? And you keep saying it. As soon as we drop the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we now say it is our unadulterated commandment that we want to be following. We continue to be languishing in problems. And we never get out of it until we return back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is choosing a leader for them and is telling us the attributes of the leader. Lillahi wa rasuli. Somebody who has never married, and you ask him to come and settle the crisis between a married woman and her husband. How do you want him to judge in between them? What experience has he gathered? Somebody who has never worked anywhere, just coming out from his first degree or his second degree or whatever, and you now handle a multinational company onto that person that doesn't have any managerial skill. How do you want that organization to succeed? Somebody who doesn't have any knowledge of Quran, who has no knowledge of Tafsir, who have no knowledge of Hadith, I want him to come and pilot the affairs of the Muslim Ummah. Before you assign somebody as your leader, you must study the person. You must ensure that he possesses some qualities. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is choosing Talut for them through Nabi Shamuel. Allah did not choose him based on material, in terms of money, in terms of influence, in terms of contacts, in terms of connection. Allah did not choose him with those characteristics. Allah chose him with what? With knowledge. So any leader that is not knowledgeable, is better we throw him out. Any leader that cannot represent you, that you will be sitting in a gathering and they will not be asking, where is your leader? And he's there, that doesn't have a body that can carry the position, you don't need to choose him. But if you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah is the perfect speaker. Allah is the perfect orator. Allah is the perfect grammarian. Allah, the first thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned here was al-ilmu, before he mentioned al-jismu. Allah mentioned knowledge before he mentioned the physical characteristics of whom? Talut. Some people can be taller than the tallest person in this place and might not have anything. He might not have any knowledge. But in terms of physical structure, he fits the position. But he doesn't have knowledge. We should not give him based on the context of Quran. The person might be very knowledgeable and his physical physique might be like that of a dwarf. If it is in a setup that it can be understood, that is the person we should put in front of us. Because the first thing Allah asks us to consider is what? Al-ilmu. Al-ilmu al-ala wa la yula alayhi. Knowledge is the apex point of everything, and there is nothing that can go beyond knowledge. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us again that وَمَا أُوتِيتُمْ
min al-ilmi illa qalila. No matter the level of the knowledge you might have acquired, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the knowledge that all of you are sharing is qalil. It's very little, it's very minute out of the knowledge that me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I have for myself. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase us in knowledge. Rabbi zidna ilman, Rabbi zidna ilman, Rabbi zidna ilman, wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described Talut with what? With knowledge and a very good physical structure. Wallahu yuti mulkahu man yasha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, me, it is whomever I wishes, I benefit with what? With wisdom, with sovereignty, with kingdom, with throne. Allah can give anybody. He can give a Jew to be coordinating all the Muslims. He can give a Christian to be coordinating all the Muslims. He can give a Mustashrikun, a free thinker, to be governing the affairs of all the Muslims. Here Allah did not mention either you are a Muslim or you are a Christian or you are a Jew. Allah did not mention. He just said yuti mulkahu man yasha. Whomever may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want to benefit, I will just bless the person with what? With my sovereignty, with my power, with my knowledge. And who is going to ask Allah? La yusalu amma yaf'al wa hum yusalun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask all of us, and nobody has any audacity to ask Allah. Where would you even see him to ask him? Allah now said, Wallahu wasi'un alimun. Allah said, my provisions are very wide. Alimun. And my knowledge is what? Is wider than the horizon that you can comprehend. How you are following me? وَقَالَ لَهُمْ نَبِيُّهُمْ. Their prophet, Shamuel, now told them, this Banu Israel, Inna ayata mulikihi, that among the signs that we describe is throne, that we describe is authority, that we describe is kingdom, that we describe the sovereignty of Shamuel. And yatiyakum tabutu fihi sakinatu min rabbikum. Is for him to bring unto you a tabut, a wooden box, fi sakinatun, that there is going to be peace inside the box, and the box will come from where? Min rabbikum, from your Lord. Who is telling them this? Nabi Shamuel is telling who? The Bani Israel. They are part of the signs that will make you people to believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had already chosen whom? Talut for you people as your king, as your leader, is that he's going to bring unto you people that you are going to see like this, a box, and inside that box, tranquility will be there, peace will be there. Brothers, is peace something that we can see? Is this a physical substance? Like air that we breathe now. We can't see it, but we can feel the existence of the air. So also, peace of mind. We can't see it. It is the conducive environment that it is if we find ourselves in the conducive environment that we now get the what? We get the peace. Fi sakina. Another riwayah said, this sakina looks like a head of a woman being that has horns, and it will be glittering, it will be shining, and it's going to be inside what? Inside that box. Wallahu ta'ala alam. And it was narrated that this box, the angel will bring it, an angel will bring it from heaven, and is going to descend it down into the hands of whom? Talut. And all the Banu Israel, they will be looking at him like this. They will see him collecting the what? The wooden box. It was also narrated that Wabakiyatun mimma taraka alu Musa wa alu Harun ta'miluhu al-malaika, that this wooden box, the remaining scripture of Nabiyuna Musa alayhi salamullah, That is what? The Torah. That was shared. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Nabi Musa, that he used to deliver the message to the Banu Israel. This scripture will be inside that box. Or the stick of Nabi Musa, the miraculous stick, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him that, وَمَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا مُوسَى. That he now responded back to Allah that, قَالَ إِيَّ عَصَايَ أَتَوَكَّأُ عَلَيْهَا وَأَحُشُّ بِهَا عَلَى غَنَمٍ وَلِيَ فِيهَا مَآرِبٌ أُخْرَى. He told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, Allah asked him, what is in your hand? He now told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that it is my stick, my staff. I have to use it to flock and cut leaves for the animals and use it for other different activities. It was reported or narrated that inside that wooden box, that particular stick of Nabiuna, that particular staff of Nabiuna Musa alayhi salamullah, and that of Haruna, because Haruna too used to have what? He used to have a staff. Invariably, all the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they used to have their sticks. That is why if you see majority of our big malams, if they are using walking stick, they use it maybe for dawla, some of them. But that of the Anbiya'ullah is different from their own. And if you see our muluk, especially in this southwest, if ordinary magaji, not talk of ballet, before you talk of district head, you all see them using stick. It's not like the stick of the Nabiullah, the Anbiya'ullah. If we remember, during one electioneering period, there was one former president here that went to Ile-Ife to go and see the Oni of Ife, that he won the royal blessing. And all the Osun State Obas, they now gathered together in the palace of Oni of Ife. They now pointed their stick onto the president there. He was the sitting president, but once another year, the very day I saw it, I said, "Kai, this is not the type of stick. I want to say, I want to buy it, not to take away from I want." And they are pointing it to him, they are telling him that, oh, he won. He didn't win the election, but that's not miraculous stick. And it has nothing to do. It has no any power. But that of the Anbiya'ullah, those ones, they are miraculous. Nabi Shuaib, he has his own stick. Nabi Ibrahim, he has his own staff. None among the Anbiya'ullah that doesn't have. Because virtually all of them, they have animals that they are rearing. So it was said that inside the Sakina, inside the Tabut, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give to Talut the stick of Haruna, and that of Musa is going to be inside. That is one. Number three. The first one is the Torah. The second one is what? Is the stick, the staff. The third one, he said the remaining cloth of Nabiuna Musa and Haruna is going to be inside that wooden box. Wallahu ta'ala alam. But we can see from the verse of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, وَبَاقِيَةُ مِمَّا تَرَكَ آلُ مُوسَى وَآلُ هَارُونَ تَحْمِلُهُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. It will just come down. It is the angel that will bring it to whom? To Talut. So that the Banu Israel will surely believe that this leader that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen for us is the righteous. Inna fi zalika. Allah said in all this, la ayatan lakum. All this we are showing you, they are signs from we Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in kuntum mu'minin, if you are going to be believers. Or if you have claimed to be believers. So seeing all this, you are not supposed to frustrate your prophet again. You are just to say, Semina wa atana. Wala takun semina wa asaina. The best thing that you are supposed to do is to say, we have heard and we are going to obey. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues to tell us. Talut and Jalut. Talut, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen it for them. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now asked him to go out, to go and fight, you know they are the one that the house of prophet, after Nabi Musa alayhi salamullah, Allah brought out for them Shamwil from among them. From Shamwil, they requested for who? For a king. And Allah chose what? Talut. Allah chose Talut for them. Now Talut wants to go on a war with Jaluta. Who is Jaluta? Jaluta is Goliath. فَلَمَا فَصَلَ طَالُوتَ بِجُنُودِهِ. When Daud now stepped out with his foot soldiers, his battalions, they now got to a river. It was said that the river is between Ordon and Philistine. In between Ordon, where we used to call Ordon, is Jordan. So this particular river is in between Jordan and the present state of Palestine. Talut now said, Qala. Talut now faced back. He now told his people, Inna Allah mubtalikum bina'arin. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want to try you, my foot soldiers, those of you that you follow me, that you claim to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah wants to try you with this particular river because they have traveled for a long distance and they are thirsty. They were thirsty. And they have seen abundance of water that will quench their what? Their thirst. Now, Allah now brought another example for them. Talut now come back. He now told them, Inna Allah mubtalikum bina'arin. Allah wants to try you. And the trial is going to be based on what? Based on their belief. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had already told us, Ahasiba nasu an yutraku an yakunu amanna wa hum la yuftanun. Do they want to cogitate? Do they want to be saying? Do they want to be reacting to us because they claim to be believers, and we, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are not going to test them, we are not going to try them? So if we try them, does it mean that we have never tried the believers before them? Or because they are believers today, we should not try them? Allah said no, it will never be like that. So Daud also told them that Allah wants to try you to know the believers amongst you. And what was the trial? Faman shariba minhu falaysa minni. Whoever drink from this river, from this water, whoever take water from here and drink, falaysa minni, that person is not part of me. That means the person is not a believer. Waman lam yat'amhu fa innahu minni. But whoever did not drink from this water, that particular person is part of me. That means whosoever can hold his thirst to a certain level that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had already decreed, that person is a believer and is part of me. He has given them the condition. Illa, except man iktarafa ghurfatan biyadi. Except those that just use their hand, a handful pool of water. Except those that fetch a handful full of water that are exception. Which water can you take with your hand? Just one handful full of water. Can it quench any water? Can it quench any thirst? Talut now said that if you drink from the water, you are not part of me. But if you don't drink from the water, you are part of me. Except those that just take an handful of water, they are part of me. You can see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks. فَشَرِبُوا مِنْهُ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِنْهُ. Some now drank from the water. And the people that drank, they were very qalil. They were very scanty, very minute number of people. They continued their journey. After this exam, they continued their journey. فَلَمَا جَاوَزُوهُ هُوَ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مَعَهُ. When they now scale through the water, because they need to scale through, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made their transition from this river bank to the other river bank, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it easy for them. They scaled through. Talut now said, La taqata al-yawma bi Jalut wa junudihi. Qalu, not Talut. When they now scaled through, they now saw Jalut. They saw Goliath. They saw him with a countable number of foot soldiers that have followed him. And you know how many are they? Their figure was nothing to write home about. So those people that followed Talut, they now say, with this number that we have seen today, these people are going to clear us. A similitude of what happened during the battle. During battle, the companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were just 300 and something, 310, 313. They are just 300 and something. Salasatu miyatu wa bid'ah. They are just 300 and something. They are not up to 320. And they are to face 1,000 battalions from Mecca. During the battle of Uhud, they were just 1,000 Sahabas. Islam has gained ground. From 300, it's now what? It's now 1,000. The 1,000 of the Quraysh, they are now 3,000. How will 1,000 face 3,000? During the battle of Khandaq, the Muslimun, they became 3,000 because Medina has welcomed a lot of Muhajir or Muhajirun from different folks of life, not only from Mecca. People have come. Even them, Abu Huraira, they have come to fight. Even Ramri al-Dawsi, they have all come. Then Bilal, they are all here. From different folks of life, they have come. From 1,000, they are now 3,000. But the Quraysh and their allies that they had alliance with, that were 3,000 during Ghazwatul Badr, Ghazwatul Uhud, they are now 10,000 during Ghazwatul Andal. You can see, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that used 300 to defeat 1,000. Is Allah no more there? These people, this scanty number of believers that followed Talut across the river, and they now saw Jalut, Goliath. They now saw him with a calculable number of what? Of followers, of foot soldiers. They now said that today victory is not ours. That today no victory for us. I hope you are following me. They are in a state of iman, but they are still anguished that how are we going to follow these people? How are we going to become victorious? قال الذين يظنون أنهم ملك الله. Those among those believers, there are some of them that had the belief that no matter their number, we are going to outwage them. You know, all of us, we cannot sleep and face the same direction. All of us, we cannot be in a state of frightness at the same time, or in a state of frightening. Some will have total tranquility. Some will be in a state of fear. So among the believers, you know, some had already said, how are we going to face the battalion of whom? Of Jalut, the Goliath. Among the believers, they now said, no matter their number, you know, they are divided into two now. Because inna wa'adallahi haqqun. Some now said that no matter their number, we are going to what? We are going to become victorious. And they now said, Kamwi fi'atin qalilatin galabatin fi'atan kasiratan bi'idhnillah. How many uncountable number of foot soldiers that have faced the little number of foot soldiers that have believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And those few numbers, they outweigh the numbers that are uncountable. Kamun fi'atin qalilatin galabatin fi'atan kasiratan bi'iznillah. How many that have existed and they are still existing today in the situation we have found ourselves, that uncountable number of disbelievers, we want to wage war on one or two believers, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will now support those one or two number of believers, and they will now become victorious upon the uncountable number of disbelievers. Bi-iznillah. Kam min fi'atin qalilatin galabatin fi'atan kasiratan bi-iznillah. Wallahu ma'as sabirin. Allah said, I'm the one that I have to stay, I have to support whoever is being patient. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said in an authentic hadith that we Muslims, we will continue to be in a state of disarray whenever we refuse to follow the dictate of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The situation we find ourselves today, that we find it very difficult to become victorious in any inconsequential situation we find ourselves, is because of our hubbud dunya wa kariyatul maut. Yesterday I was reading this hadith to one of my colleagues in the office, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that a time is coming that you the believers, you will be in multitude. You will be in multitude. And your multitude will not serve you any purpose, because you are just going to be like death and filth that the flood of rainwater. If rainwater fall, the flood that is going to generate, that will be flowing along the channels and all the canals, along the drains, the field that will be coming without water. As-sailu, that is what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. As-sailu, you are going to be like a sail, because the world powers, they will have brought you together, you the believers. They will have brought you together, and you will be eating together, you will be dining together on the same table, like having a barbecue together, eating together. You will forget your state of iman, and the only thing that will be in front of you, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, they now asked Rasul that Ammin killatin yawmaisin, are we going to be very scanty on that day? That victory will not be ours any longer? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no, you will be very more. But your kasiratukum kal-ra'nu, but your multitude is just going to be like al-rahnu. And the Sahabas, they've never heard the word al-rahnu from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam before. And the Arabs, they now asked Rasul, Wama rahanu? What is al-rahan? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, al-hubbu dunya wa kariyatul maut. The love for this world and the distastefulness of death. That is what will be in front of you. If not that, hubbu dunya. If not that, the love for this world, why will our Muslim brothers in Palestine be undergoing this level of persecution, and we have not seen any Muslim country that has come to their aid except Egypt? And the president of Turkey, Erdogan, that has been speaking. Where are other Arabian countries? Because security alliance, because of the economic alliance that they have had together, it led them to the extent that their brothers that are being persecuted in an Arabian land are being forsaken. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, not your quantity. You will be very much on the earth surface, but your largeness in number will never be useful, because you have been sitting and dining with them. And you wouldn't want what has bonded you together, you wouldn't want them to take it away. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us through Nabiyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that those that believe in Allah, that followed Talut, they now said, "Kam min fiatin qalilatin galabati fiatan kaseeratan bi iznillah." That no matter our number is not so important to us. It is our belief, our tasbih, our istiqamah. That is what can give us victory. We should forget about the number. And the victory will not come from anywhere illa bi iznillah, except from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahu ma'as sabirin. Allah said, I am with those that have been patient. Brothers, our being patient doesn't mean that we should allow the enemy to come and invade us where we are. We need to speak. We need to prepare. We need to fight. Where necessary, we need to fight. But there must be justification in whatever we are doing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues to be telling us, وَلَمَا بَرَزُوا لِجَالُوتَ وَجُنُودِهِ. When Daud and his foot soldiers, with their minute quantity, when they now face Talut, Goliath, they now say, call, they now say, Rabbana afrika alayna sabran. Allah, we are asking you to increase us in being patient. Let us be firm. Let our feet be firmly and rigidly established on the earth. What's a bit akidamana wa ansurina alal qawmi kafirin. This Talut that we are confronting, we know it's powerful, but it's a kafir. Allah, we want you to fight for us. Allah, we want you to disgrace him. Afrika alayna sabran wa sabbit akidamana. Where is our own tasbih today? Where is our own iman? Somebody that will believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will be performing all the nawafil, he will be observing all the tahajjud, and he has something else that he has to go and pay allegiance to after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again. That if I don't do this, I will go scot-free. I've given Allah what deserves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Afu kesari ni kesari. Let's give this one to the one it belongs to him. You have mixed it up. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want that. La ilaha illa ullahi wa la ilaha illa ullahi. We don't know we don't know, maybe you are on the right hand side or you are on the left hand side. We don't know where we can classify you that this is where you belong to. Allah doesn't want that kind of people. If you want to be a Muslim, be a Muslim. If you want to be a kafir, be a kafir. If you want to be a Jew, be a Jew. If you want to be a mustachrikun, belong to them. Lakum dinukum waliyad-din. These people, these followers of Talut, they ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Sabbit akidamana wa ansurna ala al-qawmil kafirin. Brothers, the ansurna ala al-qawmil kafirin that we've been doing, see, since October 7, of what had happened in Gaza and in the city of Israel. See the number of the kunut that will be reciting both in the afternoon, in the midnight. Allahumma damira ada ad-din. Allahumma zilzilu zilzala shadida. That will be doing everywhere, every day. Why is it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not destroyed the people of Israel up to now? And they kept on killing our people every day. Last week I told us they've killed like 9,000, right? Only God knows the number they have killed us at this time. Why has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not come to our aid? Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, during Ghazwatul Badr, it was on the plain of Badr that was asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, if you to the head of this my usaba, falam tu'min alal adde abadan. There won't be anybody existing on this surface to worship you again. He told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, haven't we been telling Allah like that? Why is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not come to our rescue? It is on that same plane, on that same hour, on that same day, on that same location that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought victory to Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Where is our own victory? Abi? Only Allah knows the number of Al-Quran that has been recited. The number of Tabati Ada that has been recited. Fiji, the Ablumi Masadi, the way you have destroyed Abdullah and Jamil. Allah destroyed Benjamin Netanyahu and all his allies. We have been reciting. Allah has not done anything for them. Does it mean Allah has not answered our prayer? Let's evaluate ourselves. These companions of Talut, they told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَانْصُرْنَا عَلَى الْقَوْمِ الْكَافِرِينَ أَيْنَ نَصِرَتْنَا أَيْنَ نَصِرُنَا الْآنَ. And Allah came to their aid. Immediately Allah came to their aid. فَعَزَّمُوهُمْ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala supported them with his mercy. وَقَتَلَ Daud A.S. Jalut. It was during that same time. Nabiyyuna Daud A.S. David, he also existed. Now we are talking about two prophets. We have talked about whom? Shamuel. How he came on board. We have talked about whom? Talut. How he became the king. We have talked about whom? Jalut, the Goliath. Now we are talking about Daud, the David. فَأَزَمُوهُمْ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. Allah now supported immediately. You see, Allah did not let it rest. It's just like in Surah Taha, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was asking Musa, مَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا Musa, what is in your heart? There was no qati'u in between the question of Allah and the response of Nabiyyuna Musa. The question, was it an ayah? And the answer, was it an ayah? Allah is talking like this with an exclamation mark, right? And Nabiyyuna Musa immediately followed. Allah and his servant, we were talking. We were talking to Allah every time. Where is our own answer? Mantilika biya menika ya Musa immediately told Allah that what? Iya asoya. What is in your hand? Allah, it is my staff, and you are the one that gave me. And this is what I used to do with it. I told us when we were talking about Israel wal Mihraj that this was reported not by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I read it somewhere, and not by any of the Sahaba, but we can take a lesson from it. We have talked about Aru or Arwa, souls. Our souls can exist in 3 stages, or in 3 conditions, or in 3 phases. The one that existed in sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one that is existing now, and the one that will exist after our demise. Those are the 3 stages of life. So, Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he traveled for that night ascension, right? On his way going, when he got to the first heaven, he met Nabiyyuna Adam. When he got to the second heaven, he met Nabiyyuna Yahya and Isa. When he got to the third heaven, he met Nabiyyuna Idrisa. When he got to the 4th heaven, he met Nabiyyuna Yusufu. When he got to the 5th heaven, he met Nabiyyuna Aruna. When he got to the 6th heaven, he met Nabiyyuna Musa alayhi salamullah. When he now got to the 7th heaven, he met Nabiyyuna Ibrahim leaning on the Baitul Ma'mur. We have talked all this, and Sidratul Muntaha, right? So, Imam Ghazali, as it was reported, he now said, when Nabiyyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam got to the 6th heaven, when he now encountered Nabiyyuna Musa, after their greeting, Nabiyyuna Musa now asked him that, oh, Ya Muhammad, anta kunta li ummatika, that ulamai ummatika ka anbiya'i banu Israila, that I heard that you are saying, or you used to say, that the ulama'u, the scholars, the ordinary malams of your generation, they are equivalent to the Anbiya of Bani Israel. That the prophets of your own ummah, they are equivalent. They attain the same level with the Banu Israel's prophet. Brothers, if you can see it very well, we should know that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam will not say this. But I read it somewhere. But we can deduce something. And I said, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I said, yes. My companions, my ulama of my generation, they are equivalent in terms of knowledge, in terms of status, to the level of whom? Of the Banu Israel Anbiya. They now said that Nabi Musa alayhi salamullah now asked Prophet Muhammad that I want you to bring one out of the scholars of your ummah to come and discuss with me. Can Nabi Musa alayhi salamullah, can he bring himself so low? After some time, they said Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He now called Imam Ghazali. Imam Ghazali started discussing with Nabi Musa. Musa now asked him, Man anta, wama ismuka? Then Imam Ghazali now said, Ismi Ghazali, Bunu Muhammadu, Bunu Muhammadu, Bunu Muhammadu, Bunu Muhammadu Ghazali. Nabi Musa now said, I didn't ask you. What is the name of your father? What is the name of your forefather? What is the name of your grandfather? Sa'atuka ani ismika walabi isma abaika wa jaddika. I didn't ask you of your father's name. I didn't ask you of your grandfather's name. I only asked you of your name. They now said, Nabi Ghazali now asked Musa that you too, when Allah asked you in the Quran that wamatilika biyaminika ya Musa, what is in your hand? Why did you tell Allah that iya soya atawakka alayha wa ushbiya ala ganami waliya fiya maharibul ukhra? This one is a surah to Ta'a. That Shedi Allah asked you that what is in your hand. If you too don't want to be exaggerated, why do you now tell Allah that it is your staff? I have to use it to flock this for animal. I have to do this. Allah did not ask you only that, only those, all those. He only asked you of what? What is in your hand. You know, Musa now told Ghazali that I want to enjoy my conversation with Allah subhanahu. Ghazali too now told Musa that okay, me too, I want to exchange, I want to enjoy our conversation. Brothers, this narration, I'm sorry to say, is going to be a da'if narration. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam cannot do that. But we can just deduce from it level of communication. That if you are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be communicating to you bila wasita. Allah will not send angel to any one of us. But it can be doing ilham for you. No wa'ayu, no inspiration, no revelation. The only thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do for you is ilham, just to whisper. We have discussed this too. What is the difference between ilham and wahyu? We have talked about it. You can sleep, but before you wake up, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you a directive on how to untie a nupita knot that has been very difficult for people. And you just say it without knowing that you have even said it, and solution will come out from it. Because Allah has done what? Has done ilham ilayhi. That is what happened to Nabi. That is what happened to the mother of Moses in Surah Ta'a. That was what happened to Maryam. Sayyidatuna Maryam, Musa. Sending angel Gabriel to her doesn't mean that she has been qualified as a Nabiyya. We don't have any female prophethood. That's not where we are going. What we are talking about is, if we are very strong and you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will become your friend. Yeah, that was what happened to this companion of Talut. What was Daud A.S. Jalut? Nabi Daud A.S. He now killed whom? He killed Jalut. And with what did he kill? Just a sling of rubber, catapult that we used to use while we are very small. Cool? Catapult, one rubber like this and something like Y. You carve a tree into like letter Y. You now put rubber and small stones. You know, so you catch it. We tried it. I don't know, maybe the children of nowadays are enjoying all this again. That was what? A sling. That was what Nabiyuna Daud Not even Talut. Nabi Daud, that was what he used to kill whom? Jalut, Goliath. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now bless him with wisdom. You can see Allah again. Allah gave him knowledge again. And when we started the issue of Talut, what did Allah describe him with? Al-ilmu wal-jismi. When they asked that Allah, give us a leader, give us a king, the characteristics that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to describe the king that he wants to give them was knowledge. And I said at the inception, when we are talking about leadership, anybody that is not knowledgeable, don't give him the role of a leader. Don't put a gullible person. Forget whoever gave birth to that person. Forget the social class. Forget the influence. Forget the personality. Forget the contact. Forget the influence. Allah has talked about ilmu. Now he's talking about ilmu again. That means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I bestow on Daud ilmu, well, hikmah and wisdom. There are some people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them knowledge, but they are not wisdomatic. So wisdom and knowledge, they are quite different. Because Allah has defined it here. Atahullahu al-mulka. I gave Daud, I gave him the sovereignty, I gave him the throne. Well, hikmah, I gave him wisdom. You can see an emir, you can see an oba, you can see an eze on a throne. Allah can give him knowledge, but he might not give him wisdom. We are seeing in this Yoruba land, the person is of blessed memory now. One Yoruba man, he was very rich, very, very rich, very, very rich indeed. But his money is not up to that of Karuna. But he was very rich. But he can't count 5,000 naira like this. He won't know the value. But he's a billionaire in this Yoruba land. I met him alive. So it's not something inside Quran or inside Hadith. It's something that happened. And people with PhD, master's holders, they must do yes sir to him before they get their daily bread. That is Allah for you. Only agoti omowo. And he wouldn't know. He will just put hand in his pocket and give you any amount. If you ask him, hello, level fun, hello, na ne zaka bashi, na buka bashi ni mi o mo mo ka za fun lowo na ni. Ban sani ba na dai bashi kudi ne. Kuma his business was booming. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give you knowledge, but we deny you wisdom. But all Allah gave him to whom? He gave him to Daud. Walaula dafullah inna sabadun bibadi. I think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have not used particular set of people to shield another part of people. The good ones, the believers. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have not used the believer to shield the unbelievers, la fasadatil ard. The corruption on the land will have been so massive beyond what we are experiencing. The kidnapping will have been more, if not because of the call of Maulama, if not because of the support of the security agencies, if not because of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over us. The killing will have been more. The nefarious activities will have been more. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have not been merciful on those that believe that because of these people, don't let me wipe them off the earth's surface. La fasadatul ard. The wrongdoings and the wrongdoers, they will have been more than what we are experiencing now. Walakin Allah azu fadilin alal alamin. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to bestow His mercy over whomever He wishes. Tilka ayatullah. These are the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have learned. From Shamuel, he was a prophet. From Talut, he was a king. From Jalut, he was a disobedient servant to Allah, Goliath. And from Daud, he was a Nabiyullah. Natulwa alayka bil adki. We are reading unto you, as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has read unto his ummah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, Taraktu lakum amrayn. I'm leaving behind two things. Lan tadillu in tamassaktum bihi. You are not going to go astray as far as you are holding on to these two things I'm leaving behind for you. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam never built any house. Even his bulletproof, I mentioned it 2 weeks ago, was given to a Yahudi, a Jew, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to buy something from his hand in Medina, and he doesn't have money to pay to that Yahudi. Before he could get money, he had already passed on to the hereafter. So it was when they were searching his house, they now discovered that where is this armor that Rasul used to wear to battle? So somebody that was there, a living witness, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam took it to that Yahudi, Olaosebikan, Rahano, they call it Rahano. He was the one that now said, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam bought something from that Jew, and he doesn't have money that day. The armor is still with that person. They now went to him, they paid, and they collected it back. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't leave any property for them. Fatima was the only one she left behind, except the land of Fidik. That land is like we are talking about Banana Island here, or you are talking about Mitama or Asokoro in Abuja. You know, those are the expensive places you can buy 1 plot of land or 1 square meter of land in like 1 billion or can't even naira of money. Here in Banana Island, you have to buy water. You now start filling. I was there, I see what they are buying. You buy water. You can't do raft foundation there. You only do what? You do pipe. You the civil engineers. You can't do raft because it is water you will buy. You now be filling. Some people will continue filling at time well Kiyama. Because he just want to belong. Allah did not place him there. Una fe se bi won. Omode wa ba be se le. So you must feel ni ataju tumul makobira. Ọmọ bá dé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àti ní gbogbo rubbish tí bàbá ń ṣe ló kàn tà fẹ́ nìkan. Nítorí ọ̀sẹ̀ wàhálà sí ọmọ rẹ̀ ká dáṣẹ́ rẹ̀ nù. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, wa innaka laminal mursalin. He confirmed Rasul. Innaka laminal mursalin. Lalle kai manzo na ne. Nobody can dispute it. All those that them Abu Jali did, that Umayya ibn Khalaf they did, all those that they did in Medina, I'm less concerned. Innaka laminal mursalin. You are my messenger and I confirm it. If Allah did not confirm it, He won't say al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakum al-islam ad-din. Allah completed it and perfected it for him. He wouldn't have said that. He's still saying it again here. The hadith I was reading, that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said he left 2 things for us. Kitabullah, his book, and this is the Quran that he said he leave for us. He left behind for us. And Natik is one that will be talking every time. Only God knows the number of places they have delivered khutbah today in the world. Some will still do after us. Some will pray their home by 3 p.m. They keep doing it. Only Allah knows where they are doing. Are you a nurse? Are you a nurse? Are you a nurse? Takullah today on Friday. Still, are we takullah? They will keep on reading it unto us. But is it going to be having any positive impact in our life? We saw it. And this one, we will not be talking. And that is what? Al-Maut. Or Al-Mayyit. A corpse that every one of us will be seeing every day. He said, what is it? But how many of us are learning from that? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us of our shortcomings. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide every one of us and give us opportunity to be among the living soul that we believe and return back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a fulfilled state and not in a toxic state. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi ya ayyuhallazina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima.